Okay, so
So how would she do? How should we do this? Should we have like an intro?
What type of intro could we do?
You know, that's what I'm saying. Is like, should they be like a
I've got guitars.
No,
hey,
no,
this
Logan,
is
not
the
no.
salty assholes, or you know, it should be like a
Why are you saying?
normal.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Why are you saying no for? What the fuck are you
Oh
saying no for?
no,
Didn't
like
say that.
Logan, you're good at you're. I'm not saying anything bad about how you play. Okay, I am saying it because of how the sound transfers through mics.
No, you're missing the point. You capture it beforehand, and
Oh,
then you put it together and stick it in front of a vidya.
listen.
Good golly God.
You guys can already tell that this video is not going to go very well. This
It's
is their
it's
idea, by the way, just so you guys know. It wasn't mine.
it's Blake's fault. It is entirely Blake's fault.
No, well, kinda, yeah.
Well, yeah, we're missing the fourth idiot.
What should the topic be? That's like going to be the main key here. Like,
Oh
where
well, I
we're going to
figure
go
we'll
with
shift
this.
between like general nerdy topics because you need those for Twitch to allow you to have it in the first place.
Well, we're not going on Twitch yet.
No, this
Well,
is
I
going to
know.
be straight up recorded, so we need to figure out if there's a certain subject we don't want to cover, or do you know what I'm saying? Like, what should we
Oh, okay,
touch
so
on?
we're recording, we're not streaming it.
Well, he catches on fast, man. I don't know if he's going to be able to keep up or not.
Listen. See, I thought we were streaming it because that's what I'm used to podcasts sometimes doing. So,
Yeah, let's have a podcast for 3 hours with a total of one concurrent viewer. That sounds fun. Well, uh, let's see. Clayton, what's going on in the RPG scene as of late?
new Pokemon game got announced yesterday.
Okay, and what's that called?
Sun and Moon. Looks pretty interesting. One of the things that they were talking about was that they showed like a scene from every Pokemon game, like the title picture
Mm-hmm.
and everything, and said the year of it, and then it said all of them come to. It says that, and now it all comes together in Sun and Moon.
Wait, is this like a rebirth we're talking about here, or are we talking like a whole revamp of the Pokemon industry?
No, this is like a brand new game. That's in a
Really?
new everything. Yeah, it's just like a new generation. But they said that what I'm very interested in knowing what they mean by it all comes together in Sun and Moon.
Hmm.
Because they didn't just show the like individual generations; they showed the remakes as well.
So, are we talking like OG Pokemon are going to be in this game?
Yeah, they've added a few of them every time a new generation comes out.
They had at least 100 to 150.
Yeah. Well, no, they also add some like from Gen 1, Gen 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7. And then now I guess they're going to have 7.
See, my whole thing with it is I really got into Pokemon when Pokemon Blue came out. And technically speaking, the first Pokemon game I ever owned was Silver. But what really got me was Crystal. Second gen is what I hold near and dear to my heart as far as the franchise goes. And I just lost interest after third gen. I played Sapphire a lot, and I just kind of lost it after that. I don't know what it is that just
4th gen was a big drag. Like it introduced a lot of my favorite Pokemon, but the actual game was bad.
I don't know. I mean, I even enjoyed it when they revamped second gen. I played Heart Gold like crazy. But
Yeah.
to me, nothing will be as fun as the time I had playing Crystal.
Yeah.
Crystal was my game, and I remember I was so close to completing the Pokedex in that game, and I was only lacking 2, and I lost the game. I lost it. Completely disappeared. I remember I had like 250 hours logged in that thing, and it just vanished.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I didn't give a shit about Pokemon until Thomas over there, he picked up I think it was like the XY series or whatever it was.
X
Where,
and Y. Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Like if one was a blue, one was red or whatever. Did
Yeah.
not care about it until he
Zernies and
started.
Evolve.
Yeah, till he started playing that. Then I was like, holy shit, this has gotten like 1,000 times better since the last time I played it.
Hmm.
Then what was it? Which one did I give him? I can't remember. I think I gave him Omega Ruby, wasn't it? I think it was Ruby.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the Ruby.
Yeah.
They actually have made someone's making a fan game of a first person, more open worldy Pokemon game.
Hmm.
We talking like RPG-ish, or are we talking like Final Fantasy kind of thing?
More like RPG ish.
Interesting.
Well, sorry, it'll still have like the turn based battles like Pokemon, but you're walking through a first person world and you're experiencing a little bit of the game. The graphics aren't great because, like I said, it's a fan made game, but it's an interesting concept.
Hmm. I remember a while back there was a guy that was working on revamping Crystal and making it run off the Fire Red Leaf Green style
Oh,
engine.
yeah.
Liquid Crystal.
Yeah, that's actually finished.
Oh, did it finally finish? I'll have to play it. I thoroughly enjoyed what little
There's a
bit
lot
of
of
it.
Pokemon remakes.
Yeah.
There's Omega Gold, or no, not Omega Gold. Wait, it might be Omega Gold, but this was made before Omega Ruby and all. Yeah.
Is there anything out besides Pokemon that's caught your interest?
Um. See, that's just fresh on my mind because it was yesterday. There is Far Cry Primal's coming out, or it had already come out.
I thought it
Mm,
was already out.
no, it comes out in March. It's
Yeah, it comes
March
out
because
early March.
it's a week later for PC. Is
Oh,
what it
okay.
is.
Hmm.
So
Unless you have a big name in gaming, and then they just give you the copy early.
That's. I've only played the second one. That was the one I got into. That's actually the only one I have played, and it was okay. But this kind of gave me that arkish feeling to it in a way, so it made it really interesting. So I'm kind of curious, even though I've seen some gameplay, like you said, some of the bigger YouTubers have got their hands on an early edition, I guess you would call it. So I'm kind of psyched for it, but at the same time, not because it is Far Cry. And it is the dinosaur aspect that I'm not looking forward to having a redub of Ark. So,
well, it's
yeah.
not dinosaurs; it's Ice Age.
Yeah, but it's
Hmm.
the same concept. You're going to have the mammoth, the saber tooth, the ones that pretty much we've already seen in Ark.
Yeah, but I'll be honest, I'm not at all interested in it. It doesn't.
Really?
It doesn't
I'm
interest me.
mildly
In,
interested. Oh, the game that I have my eye on that I really hope it comes to PC. I think it's called Zero Dawn Horizon.
The hell is that? Don't top and not talk, ass.
I am going to give you a proper description. Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn. Whoops. Um, it's basically the idea of like these giant here.
is that the Is that the one? No, I must be
It's
thinking.
like there's weird
Well,
technological
is
creatures
that the one
versus.
that's being made by the same people that did Killzone? Is that
I
the one that I'm
think
thinking
so.
of?
Did Guerrilla Games make Killzone?
I think. Let me pull it up over here.
We ain't got a fucking clue what we're talking about right now.
I'll know it if I see it.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. That's the one.
Yeah, it looks great.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that the thing you showed me the other day, Clayton? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Oh,
the thing I showed
yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Thing I showed
that
you a.
does look interesting. That kind of reminds me of what we're playing now, that Warframe kind of ordeal, but it's more of a shaped game. Does that make any sense?
It's more of an actual RPG than a grind.
Yeah, well, don't get me wrong. Warframe is great. I love playing it. It does have that ninja feel to it, but I don't like the fact that we had to play the same chapter as many times, but it's not over the top with the grind. Like it didn't take 40 times to get the pieces that he needed the other night. You know, it only took like five or
It
six
took me like
times.
10
So
times to get Nyx. It was
that's
crazy.
still, that's only 10 times. There are games that are similar that'll take you 40, 50, 60
Oh, I know. I played
tries.
WildStar.
We
You
we've
see what I'm saying?
definitely noticed that the drops are very generous in that game compared to any other kind of quote unquote dungeon crawlers we've experienced.
Unless you're looking for prime parts.
Unless you're looking for prime stuff, then it's a dick. It is a dick.
No,
Well, that's what
Blaine,
I know.
you don't understand.
Paris Prime.
You do
Paris
not
Prime.
understand. Okay, we've been trying to get the Paris Prime grip in Warframe for a few days now. Every time we try, we either get Tower Defense 1,
Tower 1 capture.
Tower 1 Capture, or Paris Prime String. And Paris Prime String and Paris Prime Grip have the exact same drop rate.
Now, exactly what are on these parts? What are you trying to achieve here?
You
Okay,
get
so
each prime weapon has, I think, what is it, three parts? Three parts? Is that, am I thinking right?
4.
Three or four. Three or four parts, and okay, think of it like it's the upgraded version of the base item. The Paris is the base bow that you start with, right? Okay, so it's like an upgraded version. It does more damage starting out. It has more base damage and so on and so forth. It looks cooler, and once you get your pieces, then you have to get the blueprint, and you can craft it. So you've got a better weapon.
Oh, okay, I see what's going on here.
Yeah, pretty much.
Interesting. What about, are you looking forward to the division at all, or no?
No.
Really?
Um,
Everybody's like hype about that game. What is
it's
so wrong
super
with it?
hyped, but there's a big issue with security right now. Their servers are really hackable.
I could give a shit about the security. I just I
Like
don't I
that
don't
is
I don't really know what it is. I don't know if it's just because how I came to PC from console that I haven't really had that much interest in straight shooters like that, or let alone RPG shooters. I mean, Warframe's different in my sense because Warframe is for one free to play, but it just Ubisoft hasn't really been putting stuff out that I'm the least bit interested in as of late. That just they tanked the Assassin's Creed series that I really liked. Uh, Far Cry's kind of went down the shitter since Far Cry 3. I mean, even that was horrible as far as ports go, but just hadn't really been putting out. The only thing that they've put out that's the least decent that I play on a daily basis is Rocksmith. And the only reason that's even worth a damn is because it's the San Diego studio that made it.
mhm.
Very interesting.
Like I'm not paying. My biggest thing about it is I'm not paying $60 just to get my account hacked.
Yeah, but there's got to be some way that they can better some kind of security
Oh
for it. I
yeah, I'm
mean,
sure they will eventually, but it is Ubisoft, so you don't really have to hold. You can't really hold your hopes out that much.
this is true.
The way things are going, they're being
Case in
about
point,
as.
Assassin's Creed Unity.
Oh, God bless.
We'll not bring up that tragedy.
Yeah. Sorry, I have to use a patio chair because my desk chair broke.
I think that's the only like newer good games.
Oh. Most important of all, a couple days
Oh,
ago, game that I've been following since last year came into the Steam market, but it's been doing well as far as sales go. They've sold 110,000 copies on their website alone, and that is Factorio.
What the fuck is that?
You've never heard of Factorio?
Neither
Oh,
has
please
Blaine, apparently.
elaborate.
all right, Factorio. What is the easiest way to describe Factorio? Okay,
The easiest way is probably for me to go look at it
yeah,
on Steam.
you could go look at it. That's one. It's top down pixel kind of, but not like overzealous pixel. We're not talking like Minecraft. We're talking
This.
good like SNES level sprites. Really cool looking. You're on a foreign planet. You've got your resources, coal, iron, copper, and you build factories to manage everything. And it's all about factory simplification, the best and most proficient way to make things.
Jesus, this looks like StarCraft 1 graphics.
Fuck graphics. You play Minecraft. Anyway,
Listen,
no, okay? I am not done with my explanation, and you're already criticizing my game, okay? You have not played said game. Do not criticize said game until I finish explanation. All right, your end goal is basically to build a rocket to get off the planet. That is your end goal. But to do it, you have to manage all your resources and all your production. And it goes as far as you can use train lines to deliver to different areas. So that way you can run your cargo. You've got little arms that unload and offload things onto conveyor belts, all sorts of stuff. It is one of those games that, first in a long time, that I sat down and lost myself in it,
Really?
hours on end. And this was last year at least. It's been almost a year since I last played it, but even then, and being as early as an alpha as it is, it's kind of like Ark in a sense that it has a lot of gameplay with it, a lot
well,
that you can just sit down and do your stuff. And it's got multiplayer now. It didn't have multiplayer when I last played it.
Interesting. It sounds awesome. It sounds like Space Engineers almost in a way.
Yeah, sort of, kind of, in a way, sort of, kind of. But at the same time, it's not like you're just in an open world and you're doing your own thing in a sandbox. Yeah, I mean, technically it is a sandbox, but you
yep.
also have
Okay.
enemies to contend with as well.
All right.
The
Interesting.
the quote
I
unquote native population of animals, they will come after you for the sheer fact that you're producing pollution. So you have to figure out how to manage your pollution or manage defense as well. Because the more pollution you output, the higher their attacks will be, the more they'll come after you.
I found out why it looks so much like StarCraft One.
Because
It
it's space.
started off as a StarCraft One mod, and then it's built. The actual game itself is built off the engine.
Yeah. But again, don't judge. You ain't played it yet.
Oh, I'm
I'm
not
actually
judging.
kind of curious right at this second. I almost want to see this, you know?
Well,
So
pull
it's
it.
like,
It's on Steam. Just pull it up.
Yeah, pull up the link on Steam. Check it out. Check it out right quick. I'm curious to hear
what
your
is the name of
thoughts.
this again?
Factorio.
Factorio.
Yeah.
Basically, it's factory with an IO instead of a Y.
Factorio.
You want to read it off, Blaine?
It's a game about building and creating automatic factories to produce items of increasing complexity within an infinite 2D world. Use your imagination to design factories, combine simple elements into ingenious structures, and finally protect it from the creatures who don't really like you.
And note the reviews. That is the most important thing about this game.
Overwhelmingly positive. It was released 25th of February of this year.
And now, if I head over to Steam Spy, we can see how many units have sold since it's been on Steam. Now, note they've sold at least 110,000 on their site alone. Remember that.
This
All right.
looks very SimCity-ish.
Yeah, somewhat. Let's see here. Use owner data. Okay. Right now they sold at least. Okay, so you said they've been on since the 25th? You said 25th?
The 25th is when it came out.
25th, they've sold, as of right now, 22,680 copies. That's not bad for an
See,
indie game.
build and maintain factories, mine resources, research technologies, build infrastructure, automatic production, fighting enemies. In the beginning, you find yourself chopping trees, mining ores, crafting mechanical arms, transport belts by hand, but in a short time, you can become an industrial powerhouse with huge solar fields, oil refineries. Holy shit, dude, this actually looks badass.
It is. It's very fun to play.
Multiplayer, like you said. Ooh, dude, this actually look modding support. Interesting. And it's not very big, and it doesn't take much to run it, so this could be huge.
No, I where I bought it through their website. I got my Steam code for it yesterday and went ahead and downloaded, and it was like 250 megabytes.
Wow,
Ain't
that's
nothing.
crazy.
It's very very fun. Definitely something I recommend. I mean, hell, the four of us could play it. The fourth being Blake, of course. But
Oh,
That looks good
that
to me,
asshole.
man.
it's very fun.
Oh, it has multiplayer.
Mm-hmm. Sure
Hmm,
does.
we'll give it a shot. Um, Another moderately big gaming thing is Black Desert Online launches on the 3rd.
I have not heard anything about that.
It's claiming to be a next gen MMO.
Ugh. No offense against any of y'all. Guild Wars 2 killed anything that contains MOBA, MMO, anything like that. I am done with.
Hmm.
Just because it's basically no matter which one you pick up of a MOBA or MMO, whichever one you decide to play, you pick your character and all that, and after your first 10, 15 missions, even if you decide to go on, you're basically repeating the same missions over again, just in a different area in a different way, but it's the same thing over and over and over and over again.
So your issue is the reusing of assets.
Exactly.
It's like that up until you get towards the later game where you have to think
No,
about.
it's
Yeah.
always like that. It is
Have you gotten
later
to raids
game
and
you're
stuff?
doing the yes. It's all the same thing over and over and over again.
I don't know.
It
I think the
doesn't
addition.
stop. It's just even if you pick a different character and that one might have a different set of stuff that they need to do, but after you get 15, 20 into it, they're going to take those same 15, 20 you just did, put them in the next area,
Well, yeah, that's the case up until
rehash them
you.
a little bit, but it's the same find this, get that kind of thing. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm tired of
Well,
that.
that's the case up until you get towards the late game whenever you're doing raids, but that requires people to play with.
Yeah, well, we done a few raids, but even in those, you're basically. It might change from the main storyline stuff that I'm talking about, but once you're in a raid, you're basically just farming in raids, more or less. That's all you're doing.
Well, yeah, but the first time you do a raid, it's always like that really nice, cool new feel because it's very interesting seeing how everyone's working together. And that's one of the things that I loved about Guild Wars is that they have the world bosses that you see like 40 people go in there and try and kill the world boss.
Don't get me wrong, I still pick up Guild Wars 2 every great once in a blue moon, but I can't play no more than 30 minutes of it because I'm starting to repeat whatever I started out doing just in a different way, and I'm just like, I don't want to do this again.
It's more fun when you have people to play with.
I think it would be in a way, but at the same time, maybe
Well, it's
not.
more fun because even though you're repeating the same stuff, having other people there always adds a little bit of variety to it.
This is true. I'll give you that.
Logan, we can't hear you.
Whoops, I bumped the button. Um,
Button bump.
so okay, you said the reusing of assets kind of got on your nerves after a while. Okay, well, what makes, for instance, Warframe feel different? Because I'm sure you've noticed as well as all the rest of it has, what they're doing is they have modular sections to their levels, and they're moving pieces around depending on how the level gen goes. What makes that different?
I think it goes along with the fact that we're all playing together, so that whole more people adds the variety to it that you need.
No, because even there the other day at the end of the run, even though we were playing the same one over and over again, I was noticing it. But the way that you can buy new suits, which gives you new skills to learn, build new weapons to learn how to use that again, build a new whatever the case may be, and then the mods on top of all that, so I can play the same level with a different character almost 100,000 times just because I switch my mods around, because he's going to act different, he's going to have different health, he's going to have different ways his specialty will react to other enemies. That made it a lot more interesting for me to where I can handle playing the same thing over and over again just because I can change my character to react different according to what mods, what suit, what weapon I was using in said chapter.
If you like that, then Final Fantasy 14 is actually an MMO that you'd probably like then.
No! Fuck that. No bullshit. I hated the only Final Fantasy I ever got into was Final Fantasy X.
Well, 14 doesn't play like a normal Final Fantasy game. That's why I was
And the only
mentioning that.
reason I got into it was that fucking soccer game you could play. That was it. I hated everything else about Final Fantasy. I never got on. My youngest second cousin was a huge, like, he had every one of them all the way through. He's the one that showed it to me at first. I was like, I hate this. And then he showed me that little soccer thing, and I got huge into that. I love that, but everything else,
Wait.
I hated it.
Did you ever think about Final Fantasy 14? It's an MMO. It doesn't play like the other ones where you're in combat, like the open action combat or the turn-based combats.
Sorry, man. You're not going to convince me otherwise. I'm just not. It's not nothing against Final Fantasy fans. You know, if that's your thing, you go for it. Just for me, I don't like that turn-based fighting style unless it's an RTS. Now, if it's an RTS and it has that feel to it, I've got every one of the Command and
I just
Conquers
said-
and I love each and every one of them, but I don't like Final Fantasy. I don't like the characters. I don't care if they did change it to where it's not turn-based. It's just I don't like Final Fantasy. I never have.
See, I kind of like you. I liked it sometimes whenever I was in the mood for it, but in general, I didn't really like Final Fantasy. But I didn't think of Final Fantasy 14 as a Final Fantasy game.
I only played a few minutes of it, and granted, they did take a lot of the older stuff out and changed it a whole lot, but still, I'm
Is
not
it the
a Final.
anime style you don't like?
No, that doesn't help.
No, what I was talking about it was that if you didn't mind that part, because it plays like an MMO. But one of the things that you were talking about is how you liked Warframe because you could switch around between different things.
Yeah, the mods is what makes that interesting for me because I can run the same chapter like 10 times, change one mod, and it completely changes my health, my revive time, everything. So that kind of makes it interesting.
One of the things you can do in Final Fantasy 14 is switch your class. You can keep the same character, but you can switch your class on the fly.
Still
What I
not
have to
going
do-
to play it.
Oh, I know. I
Just so you know.
I was just mentioning it because you were talking about how you liked that aspect.
The only Final Fantasy game I ever played was Final Fantasy IX. It's the only one I ever played, and
I played
That-
the old handheld version of 4.
Wow.
2. I played various ones, and then 13 just made me just never want to pick up a Final Fantasy game again.
and when I played Final Fantasy IX, that was, let's see, that was around the time the PlayStation 2 came out, so that was around 2000. Let's see, I was living there then, so it was when I was about in third or fourth grade, so it's about 2004, 2005. Yeah, that was about the last time I played Final Fantasy.
Oh,
I have the
I
sun
will
behind me,
never
so
play it
that's better.
again. Even if they completely changed it, it's just not my type of game. No, I'm not into that whole. Maybe if they made it first person and it would be more of a Skyrim feel to it, I might pick it up again, but not.
Logan's face.
He said no.
That they're not going to make it first person.
Yeah, but that'd be the only way I'd pick it up again, just to see if it changed anything at all about it. But other than that, I'm not doing it.
What? Now I really regret selling my 3DS.
I give mine away.
Literally, it is sitting like. Wait, no. Yeah, it was yours, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like I'm pretty sure it's over on the shelf right now.
I extremely regret giving mine or selling mine because I sold mine a couple of months ago, and then they announced a new Fire Emblem game, which I really enjoyed the last one they released. And they've announced the Fantasy Life 2, which I played like 150 hours or some ridiculous amount of the first one.
Sounds about right for you.
That's the one thing I never did understand. How did the Second Life games, I guess you would call them, get so fucking popular?
Um, I guess it's more like a social thing than anything.
No. Look at The Sims. Okay? Has nothing to do with being social other besides
Oh,
you and the character
have
on
you
the
ever heard of
screen.
anything about Fantasy Life?
I'm sure it's going to be one of those things that I'm talking about to where it's a
No,
Second Life kind of thing.
no. It's more of an RPG. You have your professions and stuff like that that you do, but you also are like a paladin or a warrior or a ranger or something like that, and you go out and you can level up your profession by doing profession quests and has a storyline to it and stuff like that.
So, Fable?
Less story driven than Fable, more RP.
No, no one can hear that, right?
We can.
Okay.
No, we didn't hear that. Don't worry about it.
Um. Okay. So like one of my professions was a paladin. Okay. Um.
Okay, so
Pal.
you're a dick.
Uh. The paladin. Their main enemies are like these dragons. They're the bosses for paladins. So like to rank up, you have to beat this dragon or bigger enemies and go out in the world. It's like an open worldy style. It has more of a cartoony look, of course, because it's on the 3DS. And they're it's pretty interesting. I ended up leveling up all the professions to max, except for 2.
No, I'm not going to play it. It doesn't.
So I was digging in my desk,
Uh-oh.
and I don't really know how it got in there, but I just found Pokemon Silver. I don't really know why that was at my desk, but it was.
Those are the games I miss. Was
Well,
the classic Game Boy Kirby, man. That was one of the best Game
Oh,
Boy
if you like
games
Kirby,
ever.
Blake is the one to talk to about Kirby. That is his one of his favorite game series.
It
Is
was one of the
Kirby.
best Game Boy games ever, man.
Kirby. My.
Hours. I can remember riding the damn bus just hours and hours of playing that.
now if you really want a game, you really want a game, the Space Chicken Invader game. Did you guys ever play that?
Space Chicken Invader game.
Here, I think
Are you
it's like
talking like the Space Chicken from Courage the Cowardly Dog?
no, I think it was like Chicken Invaders or
Space Chicken Invaders game. Okay.
There's going to be this weird thumbnail right about now. That's going to be.
Oh no, that's a video. I don't want to.
yeah, it's called Chicken Invaders.
Are we talking chicken aliens here?
It looks like. What the fuck?
I fucking loved that game growing up.
It's basically Galaga with chickens.
Yeah,
Exactly what it
I'm
is. It
gonna
is
look this
Galaga
up
with
now.
chickens.
and it's free.
Well,
Oh man.
Chicken Invaders Revenge of the Yolk. Wow.
Oh man. Now we wait for Blaine's expression.
Chicken Invaders Cluck of the Dark Side. Ultimate Omelet Easter Edition.
Sometime in the future, Earth is invaded by chickens from other galaxies. Bent on revenge against the human race for oppressing Earth's chickens. This actually looks kind of cool.
It is. It's pretty fun. Oh man, I played the shit out of those games when I was little.
Fucking Chicken Invaders. What the hell?
That's another thing that I've that I've noticed.
Loki
It's
looks
always the
so done
weird
with
games that
shit.
get popular too, and they are always indie games that nobody cares about until some bigger YouTuber or somebody like that points them out, and all of a sudden they're huge. Flappy Bird, one of the worst games in history. Also, just boom! That stupid Doritos 360 Mountain Dew bullshit that went on for a while.
Oh yeah, that. Never mind. I know what you're talking about.
Eh.
Yeah, see, he knows what I'm talking about. Like, I don't understand
Then there's the
how
Burger
that
King
happened.
games.
Oh
Oh
my
yeah, the
god.
Burger King games. Well, Blank, you can't really say it's the worst game in history because that title is still held by the Atari ET game. You can't you can't go that far. You really
I don't know. Ride to Hell might be pretty close to it. It no. Okay, so you know Jesse Cox, of course. He can you guys say something? I don't think my sound cut out. Okay, never mind. Um,
Mic check 1 2.
he on a bet started playing Ride to Hell on his channel. He had to force himself every day to get up and play that game. Like normally he has backlogs, but he had to force himself to record at least a little bit of the game to be able to put it onto his channel because he doesn't like not finishing games. And then there was Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns. It was the very first game he's never completed. It was that bad for him.
Oh, 1 out of 5.
Well, I have to admit, I don't think there's been a game that I've started and not want to finish yet that I could think
And
of.
I suggest as a group, we somehow start playing Ride to Hell.
Oh, no, I can't think
Logan's
of
looking at it.
anything. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that I've started and not want to finish yet. I don't, well, the only game I've ever had trouble out of is The Last of Us. But that wasn't, because it was stupid or retarded. It's because I got stuck. So I don't think there's been a.
I
I mean,
get
I played the shit out of Flappy Bird, even though I'm giving it hell. I did play it a lot. But it makes
well,
me wonder, like, what creates that huge following for something that simple? The
I'll do you one
Fazbear
better.
Five Nights at Freddy's crap. Simple games, but a huge response out of it. Minecraft, simplest game in the fucking world, and it's still huge. It makes me wonder,
Well, that's
like,
just the wedding scene.
well, creativity I think helps a lot with that, but still, I want to know what creates that because they're not like Call of Duty or Battlefield. The big AAA titles that are produced by major companies. These are me and you could have created these games. You know what I'm saying? So it makes me wonder, like, what is it about them that makes them explode like they do?
You're telling
Well,
me Deep Silver published this piece of shit?
what is it?
Ride to Hell?
Yeah.
Oh my good lord.
Well, I'll do you one better on simplicity, Blaine. Adventure Capitalist.
Oh man, don't
Look,
even get me
don't go
started.
there. Don't go
Oh
there. I
man.
play that shit every day, and I
Those are
don't
dark
know why.
times. Those are dark times. I finally have broken away from it. I am almost to the point where I can bring myself to uninstall it from my phone.
I can't. There's just something about it. It's so
It's
simplistic.
satisfying.
It's the music, isn't it? It's the music.
I think it is. I really
It's
do.
the
I think
music.
it's that the elevator jingle while you're saying ching ching ching. So I don't
And
know, man.
like
I love
reaching
that
those
game.
milestones and everything is really satisfying.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it says here on the wiki page, Ride to Hell was critically panned to the point where it is considered one of the worst video games ever, with with very low review scores by Metacritic and Game Rankings. Upon its release, the game was criticized for its broken gameplay, poor controls, voice acting, writing, offensive portrayals of women, and dropping the originally planned open world concept in favor of a linear layout.
Yeah,
Logan,
but
you may need to
Hated
get
was one of those games too, and it actually turned out it could have been okay. There was one of the was this like a Sonic game or something like that, or it was one of those games out there that got a really low score, but it turned out to be a really good game. So you can't always go by what that says, kind of thing.
no. It's pretty fucking terrible. Logan, you need to get it, and then on your day off, one of your days off, we'll all sit around your computer and everything, and we'll just take turns at.
I don't know how the hell I'm going to
What?
get it. It was taken off Steam in 2014.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Damn.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! It was so bad they took it off. Like they didn't want to
Never put it
provide
back.
it.
No, it's not on Steam anymore.
Ooh,
You want me to
interesting.
find a place to go that
I
we can
kind of
get
want
it?
to play this now.
Hold on, let me see if I can find a place.
Like I want to see what the hoopla is about. Like if it's that bad, or if it's because somebody said it was bad and everybody kind of jumps on the fad train, kind of like what I was bringing up earlier. Like
No, it's bad.
it cannot be that bad. I mean, seriously, there are worse games out there, especially now.
I can buy it for $12 on Amazon for PlayStation 3.
No, they do offer it still. Interesting.
Or if I had an Xbox 360, $9.95.
Oh, what the fuck?
Very, very interesting.
I went to their website and the song started playing and it scared me.
Did you pee a little?
No.
See,
Wow.
other than that, I don't
Yeah,
think I've seen
They
anything here
completely
lately.
discontinued the PC version.
Wow. Maybe it was a poor port, like kind of like the Batman thing. Like that was horrible. But console play, it was actually a really good game.
Yeah.
So it could be one of those things, maybe on PC, bad port, so everybody hated it, but it could be really good on console.
I don't know.
Anything's possible.
I think you're just wanting to watch me rip my hair out.
It'd be kind of entertaining.
Yeah, I'm sure. But the question is, will it be as entertaining as watching Clayton play sticks?
Oh god.
Because
How are you going on that, by the way?
that's comedy gold.
It's a game that I can only play like midday because
Oh, really?
it takes so much out of me.
You're not a stealthy game guy?
No.
Interesting. Wait, you're playing Shadow of Mordor, are you not?
That is not a stealth game.
It can be if you play it a certain way.
Yeah,
I
no.
didn't fucking play it as a stealth game.
No, Styx is a game that you have to play stealth.
Interesting. I've watched Thomas play Shadow of Mordor, but I've not played either one of those games, so I'm just giving you shit.
Well, either way, some of the big things about Ride to Hell was it's not just a port problem. That might fix some of the glitches, but the shitty voice acting, the story, and the fact that they went from it's an open world game that got transferred into a linear game, which will cause a lot of problems. That doesn't get fixed by just being on console. So
This is true. I'll give you that.
I
I'm
think-
curious now, man. Like I kind of
I
want to.
think
I'm going to end
Logan
up looking it up and being like, I wonder if anybody actually sit down and played it all the way through and kind of
Yeah,
watch
Jesse
it and
Thompson
see how bad it truly is.
But I think instead of doing that, Logan should get it for the PS3, and then we all pile up at his house one day, and he should stream it, and we're all just sitting there, and when he just gets so frustrated, one of us will switch out with him.
Save the controllers. Save the controllers.
Jesus, that's just fuck that. Not even.
I don't know if it would be worth it.
All right. Well, let's see. As of late, what's everybody been playing? Clayton? What?
Well, played a little bit of Shadow of Mordor. I played a little bit of Styx, and I made a new friend in Styx, but I had to kill him.
A new friend? Ooh, oh, do tell.
I glitched out a guard.
What about that one guy that was like just following you around and not
You mean
really?
the guard that I glitched out.
Yeah, he was going to report you to the headmaster. That guy.
Blaine, okay, when guards find you, they generally follow you and attack you. But I don't know what I did. I think when I hid inside the closet and the guard found me and pulled me out of the closet, he glitched. So I went into the combat mode with him. So you have to kind of like you're rotating around him and everything. But he was not attacking me. He just stood there. He would block me, but he would not attack. So I was very, very confused. So I just broke combat and started running around. And he just kept following me. He was fully alerted, so if I went around anyone else, then they would get alerted and start attacking me. But he wouldn't. He'd just stand there and look at me.
Interesting. Broke the game, man. Good
I
job.
did. It only took me about an hour and a half.
Okay, Blaine, what have you been playing as of recent?
Warframe would be a big one, as you know. I've been playing Battlefield 4 on the PS3 in my spare time, and I noticed a huge difference. That's about all I've been playing. I've been trying to hop on and play some Tavern Brawls, but I haven't had the time.
Oh.
That's about it. That's about all I've been
Did I
playing.
tell you about this week's Tavern Brawl?
No.
This week's Tavern Brawl is every minion you play, only the ones you play, like if they get summoned by another minion or something like that, or by another card, then it doesn't work. But every minion that you play out of your hand has charge and taunt.
Oh, really?
And there's some pretty silly things going on. Like, someone was playing Rogue, and then there's a card called Molten Giant. For every damage that you take, it reduces the cost of Molten Giant by 1. So they took a lot of damage at the beginning, played Molten Giant, hit the person, Shadow Step Molten Giant, played it again, hit the person, and then Shadow Stepped it again and hit him again. And they could just keep, every time they returned a card to their hand, return Molten Giant back to their hand, they could just play it again and attack.
Nice.
There were some crazy one-turn kills with it.
Ah.
And it's all fun and games until it happened to me.
Logan, you been playing anything good?
Warframe.
I think that's all you've had time for. That and Rocksmith, right?
Yeah, but Rocksmith's just one of those, pick up and do things. Been working on customs again. Put out a new custom yesterday for that. Working on another one right now. Trying to get some Galacticon stuff done. Because tabs are real hard to come by for that album. As for Death Clock stuff, well, still got stuff sitting in purgatory. The main issue that was keeping me from doing those is when I had to reinstall Windows 7 and I hadn't got back around to downloading my custom tools that I need to make customs. So I just kind of put it on the back burner because I was lazy.
Well, at least you're honest.
So, other than that, I haven't really had time from work because, I barely get time any day and any time now. Besides doing what I need to do, I might get back into Fallout 4 once the GEC gets released towards April. Maybe. I don't know.
I still haven't beat that game. I haven't even.
I don't know
played
what
it
is
in months.
preventing you from beating that game.
I just ain't had the time, man.
Jeez. I
I
really
want to so bad, but I want to be able to sit down and do a good stretch and play it.
It is really not a difficult story to get through at all.
Like, I had to force myself not to complete it too quickly.
Even Blake did. But by the time you and I both had beat the story and it'd been 2 weeks later, Blake is like, well, I just now left Sanctuary. What is preventing you?
No. He said I just now went to Diamond City for the first time.
Well, yeah, that's leaving Sanctuary in a sense. But,
yeah.
that's the only thing that killed that game for me was the story was so poop. It was so poopy compared to, New Vegas was one of the best, in my opinion. I love New Vegas to death. It was like the last game I ever pre-ordered now that I think about it. Yeah, I still got the box over there on the bookshelf.
Dragon Age Inquisition and Fantasy Life, they came out about the same time, and those were the last games I pre-ordered.
Inquisition sucked ass compared to Origins or even the first Dragon Age.
Origins is the first Dragon Age.
Sucked. 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 Sucked.
Better than Dragon Age 2.
Oh, I hated Origins. I thought, you know what? Finally.
Origins? What?
Yeah, Origins and the Inquisition.
Origins was the best one.
No. The second one was the best one out of all of them, at least. It had a better feel to it, had better mechanics, had better graphics. The story was iffy, but it was still a lot more fun to play than the other two. Period. I hated both of them. Ruined it
That
for
means
me.
the other two are not your style of game, then.
More or less, yes.
But the general consensus is Origins was the best, 2 was the worst, and then
It was shorter, I'll give you that.
and then Inquisition was kind of in between the two.
Anyways, I have to start cooking, fellas, so I got to get supper going. I think this has been really interesting for the first go. I don't know what you guys think. We kind of touched on everything. We had a few laughs. So we have to see what you guys think from this point forward. So
I just know you're a big old nerd.
Nerd!
Nerd!
why do I have such ass for friends? I don't get why I attract you people.
Because
That's
you're an
why I said that
ass.
about you a lot.
Because you're an ass yourself, that's why.
See what I deal with?